Welcome to the United Stand. Tonight is the night. It is the night that De Ligt plays for Holland against England. And I tell you what, I've got two big scenarios here. I think at the end of the game, Rashford and De Ligt go to exchange shirts. And as De Ligt takes off his Holland top, he's wearing a Manchester United top and he turns around and it says 5 De Ligt. And then Lingard runs on and they all start pop dancing and whatever it is the kids do these days. That's scenario one. Scenario 2, and this is probably more likely, De Ligt has an average game for Holland and most of social media Manchester United fans say he's shit, we don't want him anyway, because that's what happened with Bruno Fernandes last night. But let's wait and see what happens with that. But scenario 1 would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I'm surprised Manchester United haven't thought about it. In fact, I think that's why De Ligt had Daniel James had his medical today, but we're not announcing it till next week. There's a rumour that he's been sent off with a trumpet for his announcement video next week. He's got to learn to play the trumpet or something, because that's the sort of stuff we do. But in all seriousness, it's a massive night for De Ligt tonight. We are doing a watch along on That's Football with me. I've dropped the link in the video description. It's England versus Holland. It's kicking off at 7:45. I'm doing a watch along on That's Football. The link's in the video description, so go over there after this if you're watching live. Yeah, that's why we're doing it the show an hour earlier, because I think everyone's going to watch this. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to watching him. There is still a chance that we're going to sign him. The latest is coming from Ronald Koeman, who is his current Dutch manager, who's basically said, I have had a word with him to give him some advice. I'm not going to tell you what that advice is. What I would say, it's important, is what I say to all my young players in the Dutch squad. It's important that you're playing as many games as possible, and it's important that you're playing the right style as possible. Well, the first bit helps Manchester United. He'll play every bloody minute at Manchester United because he's streets ahead of any centre-back we've got. The style of play is the unknown. The Emmerdale Cup is the known. So the style of play is probably, I think Koeman will be pushing him towards Barcelona because Koeman played for Barcelona. And I think there's not a lot of help in that Dutch squad for Manchester United. In fact, there is no help, is there? Blind doesn't play for us anymore. Memphis doesn't play for us anymore. Van Dijk plays for Liverpool. Maybe they'll be pushing him there. But I still think he's pretty much odds on to go to Barcelona. There was a story today that Manchester United are meant to be out the running because we're offering Europa League football and everyone else is offering Champions League. Well, we know that. We're also offering a hell of a lot more money as well. So maybe that will be a factor. And then there's a lot of rumours today. Delo did a video. There was a post on United's Insta and Twitter about Delo. It being a year today that we signed Delo. Apparently, De Ligt liked it on his Insta. But when I went to check it, it wasn't down there as a like. So there's some contradiction about that. Why is he doing stuff like that? If he is doing stuff like that. Look, I think what's going to happen tonight, and the reason we're talking about it is because, there is a little bit to talk about, but it's going to go hyper tonight. It's going to go hyper about De Ligt tonight. On his performance will be analysed by everybody. If he has a great game, then it's going to have a massive impact on the transfer. Look, as a Manchester United fan, I think we've got a slim chance of getting him anyway. And if he has a very good performance tonight, we've probably got an even slimmer chance. I would say, if you want him to come to United, we almost want him to have a bad game tonight. Because if he has a great game, it's just going to hype it up to whole new levels. Mino Raiola's going to be there, dropping WhatsApp groups saying, show me the money. He'll just be using Jerry Maguire, show me the money. He'll be down an all-you-can-eat buffet, absolutely lording it up. So, if he has a great performance tonight, it's going to go ridiculous. So, I think much like Bruno Fernandes last night for Portugal, I'd prefer he just had a low-key performance against England tonight. But looking forward to it. And the thing is, everybody jumps on, they want De Ligt. I know there'll be a lot of fans tonight who've not really watched him play before who'll be watching it, which is good for them. Lewis Prendy, thanks for the contribution. England to win the Nations League, says the Drifter. I hope so. I'm excited to watch it tonight. I'm excited to watch it as an English person. I'm excited to watch it as a United fan who we've still got a chance of signing De Ligt. So I'm intrigued by it. So make sure you join us for the watch along. The link's in the video description for that. We're not doing a recap at the moment, Ardish, because there's too much to be going through. So, De Ligt tonight. Watch him. See how he gets on. And I guarantee it's going to go tomorrow morning. There'll be so many stories about him. I guarantee it. But, let's move on. Bruno Fernandes. Now, this is interesting. I was joking on Twitter today because, as you know, I have a somewhat dubious, suspicious relationship with a lot of these in-the-know people who say De Ligt's done. There are people out there who have got loads of followers by saying De Ligt's done his medical already. They're just waiting till Monday, which is total lies. There's a lot of people out there saying, I saw somebody say today, if we don't sign Wan-Bissaka, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, maybe we're not signing Wan-Bissaka because we're not even in for him. The only people who are saying we're after Wan-Bissaka are bloody in-the-know Reddit accounts or Twitter accounts. It's silly. These people are. I don't believe these people. Now, what I find really interesting is, you know what I've said on the United stand. I said it back in March. I said it on the first Transfer Daily on May the 1st. I've said it on Twitter in April. I said I was told by somebody who is very credible, and I actually was told by two people. What the other one I'm not so sure about, but they both said much the same thing back in March, that United are after 3 signings. Their 3 main targets are the centre-back, well actually 4, the centre-back who they didn't know it was, who they told me was Koulibaly in May, but I don't know whether that's going to be true. So they said they're after a centre-back, but nobody knows who it is. This is in March. Bruno Fernandes is a hot number 1 priority in the midfield. That's their number 1 target in the midfield, and they're desperate to get him. Thomas Meunier and Jadon Sancho. That's what I was told in March, and I told you all that at the time. I don't think Jadon Sancho's happening anymore because I think that the Champions League stuff. I think Meunier can still happen, and I think Bruno Fernandes United are desperate to get this deal done. So I find it really funny that I've told everybody that, and I've been telling them that since March, and I don't profess to be an in-the-know. I said when Alexis Sanchez, I got told that 2 weeks before it happened, and I told all you lot as well. I'm just not going to tell you the source because they don't want it to be told. But it's so funny that none of these in-the-knows who are talking about Wan-Bissaka and they've got a club source saying a medical's been done with De Ligt, not one of these people who've got club sources know what I knew in March, that United are desperate to sign Bruno Fernandes and he's their number 1 target. But none of these in-the-knows know that, which just shows that they're spouting absolute shit. So with Bruno Fernandes, there is yet another development today. It's from Record in Portugal. And what they are saying is that... let me just get this right. I don't want to quote it wrong. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes' agent is flying into London at the weekend. Now, this has been interpreted that Tottenham are in the race. Manchester United's board officers are in London. Ed Woodward spends a lot of time in London. So that to me doesn't mean Tottenham. That to me means even more United. The English clubs that are meant to be in for him at the moment, well, Man City have apparently dropped out. That was, I think, it called to Ojogo yesterday, who were quite reliable. So it's Manchester United, maybe Liverpool, and now possibly Spurs. But United's officers to sort out deals can be done in London. So I would take that as another positive. I'm not going to say done deal for Bruno Fernandes. I've never said Bruno Fernandes is a done deal. I just know that Manchester United, if I believe the person I spoke to, which I pretty much do, I'd be disappointed if they were wrong, I know that Manchester United are in for him. And also, it's well known that United have been scouting they have been scouting Benfica as well, but they've been scouting Sporting Lisbon most of the season. So United want to get Bruno Fernandes, and if they get it over the line, great. Fantastic. I really, really want him. If they don't, I think it will be because he goes to a club who can give him Champions League football. But I think he will come to United because I think United are he's such a high priority for United. I think United will bid. I think they'll outbid anybody. So he will have to be persistent that he wants Champions League football, not to come to United. That's the only way. So I think we will get him. When are we signing John Joe Shelby, says Dylan Feeney. Come on, grow up. We're not. I think there's a lot of negativity about Manchester United transfer at the moment. James watched my video from lunchtime. He's the next Messi. He's the Welsh Messi. And do watch it. It's banter. And Bruno Fernandes is our number 1 target in the midfield. Centre-back, we are desperately trying to get world-class centre-backs. We can't get Koulibaly because the fee. We're still sniffing around Koulibaly, by the way. Imagine if we actually literally were sniffing around Koulibaly. Can you imagine that? Koulibaly's on holiday and there's United scouts. Do you want to come to Manchester United? Get out. So yeah, we wanted Koulibaly. We still want Koulibaly, but if Napoli won't sell, what can we do? I think some fans get really irritated and frustrated, but actually, if you know anything about the transfer market, and I don't profess to know loads, but if you want a player and you've got the money to pay the fair price, but that club doesn't want to sell, what are you supposed to do? What if De Ligt, Maguire, Koulibaly, Ruben Diaz, Manolas, every other top centre-back in Europe, their clubs say we're not selling? You can't buy something that's not available unless you do something stupid like pay the release clause of Koulibaly, which is 150 million quid. I mean, you could do that, but I don't think we've got a club who will do it. So I think United, with regards to the centre-back, we're trying to sign a world-class centre-back. Koulibaly is tough. De Ligt is, if we pull it off, it's absolutely amazing. If we pull De Ligt off, it's brilliant. It's like Mad Marcus walking into the old Kardashians' house and pulling Kim and taking her away from Kanye. It would be absolutely stunning if we do it. It's a real David and Goliath. So if United get De Ligt from Barcelona, then that is an amazing deal, and you've got to applaud the club for doing that. We're trying to do big things. Doesn't mean they're going to happen, but we are trying to do big things, and let's see what happens with that. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes is looking good, and I'm surprised all these Twitter in the knows haven't heard from their sources, because everybody knows, anybody who knows anything about United knows that United have been desperate to sign Bruno Fernandes for at least the last 8 months, but their Twitter sources obviously aren't telling them this nonsense, are they? Let's talk about Nicolas Pepe from Liverpool. I nearly said it. I've let the cat out of the bag. So remember, we had Adam on from Get French Football News last night. He was on a couple of weeks ago, and he said about Nicolas Pepe, he does suit Manchester United, but there's not a lot about Manchester United looking for him. And actually, he said, I don't think Nicolas Pepe would come to Manchester United because of the lack of Champions League football. Well, it's looking like he is going to be heading off to Liverpool. Maybe Manchester United can hijack that deal. Maybe they can. I hope that they can. I think he's a very, very good right winger, but I don't think Nicolas Pepe is coming to Manchester United. And I think what's happened there is what sometimes happens on the United Stand and other United outlet forums, is that we identify a player that would be perfect for our football club, but the club are never in for them. It's a bit like I've said about Fabinho over the years, and a lot of you have, or maybe Thomas Partey this year, or maybe a Lozano. We can look at players and go, oh, they'd be perfect for us, but if the club aren't after them, they're not after them. And maybe with Nicolas Pepe, we're just not after him. Or if we were told, no, he doesn't want to come because you're in the Amadale Cup. Looking likely like he's going to Liverpool, which is interesting because a lot of people say, well, why would Liverpool need him? They've got Mane, they've got Salah, they've got Firmino. But if one of those get injured, competition for places, this is the next level for Liverpool. This is what I'm on about. Before Liverpool won the Champions League, their chairman said, this will not make up for us not winning the league, and we are going to spend in the summer to make sure that we're even stronger for the league next year. So Liverpool are already streets ahead of us, doing things the right way, and now they're going to start buying top quality players to be sort of fighting with the likes of Salah and Mane. I mean, that's the next step for Liverpool, building on top of what they've already got. We've got to get what we've got. So it doesn't look like Nicolas Pepe will happen. It's interesting who that right winger is going to be. There's three core positions that we need players. I've said this so many times. We desperately need a top-class centre-back. We need a top-class midfielder, preferably a CDM, and we need a right winger. They're the three priority positions. We can talk about getting a right back. We can talk about getting two midfielders. We can talk about even bringing another striker in. But we desperately need a top-class right winger. And if it's not Nicolas Pepe, there are still other options out there. But somebody else who can play there, I just want to throw him in there because we were linked quite heavily to him in January, was Carrasco, formerly of Atletico Madrid, Belgian international, currently in China, desperate to get away from China. He wants to be a spring roll. He wants to be part of a Chinese takeaway. But he wants to get out of China, and he's made his money, I suppose, but he's still only in his mid-20s. He can play on the right. He can play very well on the right. And he has said today or yesterday to Belgian media that there is an offer on the table. Now, whether that offers anything to do with United, we haven't actually really been linked to him by the media yet, but that doesn't mean anything. He could be an option for us out there. And to be honest with you, I remember a couple of years ago, a lot of you lot were saying, oh, he'd be a great option for us. So, maybe consider Carrasco. I think we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Who are the options for the right wing position? United the Fools sold De Ligt's best mate Blind, says Vivek Chayanchandran. Well, you know what? Daley Blind, for me, I thought it was the right time for him to go. More, not because I didn't think he was good enough, more because we just weren't using him. Pepe, it's his first good season and he's not worth it, says Bovu. Yeah, you're going to have different opinions on that. Crypto UK says De Ligt's going to Liverpool. You know what? I'm quite relaxed about that. If Liverpool get De Ligt, I would say I'm gutted because they're our biggest rival. But again, it just shows the development of that football club. And De Ligt and Van Dijk next to each other. I mean, Van Dijk is like impregnable anyway. If they get De Ligt as well, Jesus Christ, they'll be absolutely and Alisson in goal, and Trent Alexander and Robertson. They'll have the best centre back. They'll have the best defence in the world. They will. But we can't cry about it because this is the world we're operating in, and this is how bad United have become. You've got to compete. You know, I said this before. The battle to try and sign De Ligt and Bruno Fernandes and Koulibaly's and everyone like that. It's like a Royal Rumble. You know, do you stand outside the ring like Arsenal and go, oh, I've just bought a ticket because I couldn't afford the entry fee to get in the ring. I'm just going to stand here and admire everybody else signing all the good talent, and we'll try and pick up one of the rejects. You know, that's what Arsenal are doing. United, at least we're buying a ticket and getting in the ring. We may be an underdog and we may get thrown over the ropes loads of times, but you never know. We might get lucky and hang in there long enough and end up with the prize. Liverpool and Manchester City are far more attractive than we are at the moment, as are Barcelona, as are Juventus, as are Bayern Munich, as are PSG, because they're big clubs operating in the deep end of the Champions League. And we're swimming in the shallows of the Emmerdale Cup with Arsenal with their rubber ring and their armbands on, going, it's great, it's fun. And we're like, yeah, we're not going to use it. We may be in the shallow end, but we can swim. We want to be down the deep end again. We're not putting armbands on. We can swim. So, you know, you chuck Arsenal down there without their armbands and they'll drown. We can actually operate in the Champions League. We're just shit at the moment. That's the problem. So we, at least we're in the fight. But the De Ligt fight is a very difficult fight to win. And the only thing United have got, and I don't know whether I'm proud of it or not, is that we've got the money. And we can that is all we've got. We cannot do what Barcelona are doing. We cannot do what maybe a Man City will do. We can't just go, that's our final offer, choose us because we're a great football club. Manchester United, we are a great football club, but we can't just say we'll match the Barcelona offer. Come on down to the Thursday night club. It's great in the Emmerdale Cup. You get Wednesday, Tuesday off. You can watch the Champions League on a big TV that you'll be able to afford. No, United have got to go, what are Barcelona offering? Right, we've got to go at least 15, 20%, maybe even 30% more on wages than they are. Maybe even 50%, because that's all we can offer. And then we hope that in 2-3 years, we build a good enough team that we're actually getting to those levels again. So, Shivesh Singh says, if Bruno Fernandes happens, it will be huge. We desperately need players who can chip in with goals like Scholes and Giggs did. I've said all summer long that I feel that we will get Bruno Fernandes, so we do. Patrick St. Pierre says, are you doing a watch along for the England game on That's Football? Yes, I said it at the start, mate. The link's in the video description. Straight after this, give me a couple of minutes and I'll be live. But the super chats, sorry, not the super chats. The comment section is open, so you can go over there whenever you want. De Ligt to Barcelona, sorry, says Noah Felez. I agree. I think he will go there. I've always thought that. Jack Bold says, hope we signed De Ligt. Thanks for unbanning Mark. Thank you, pal. And Liverpool signed De Ligt are not screwed. The Premier League are screwed, says Jacob is red. Mark, sorry I can't join the membership and do a super chat. I do apologise, says Jordan Curley. That's fine. Let's move. I mean, there's another story here that I wanted to touch on. Coming from Italy, obviously. Napoli interested in Lukaku. There was some story late last night that United, I think it was coming in from DiMarzio, that United had turned down a swap deal for Icardi for Lukaku. And I was just like, oh, why would you do that? And a lot of people were replying to my tweet saying, he's got a bad attitude. If you think Pogba's bad, Icardi's 10 times bad. And I'm like, look, get off my grill, bitches. You know, like, this is not me making a rash decision. Oh, Icardi's better than Lukaku, so let's tweet about it. Watch what I've been saying for 3-4 years. I've always been a massive fan of Icardi. Many transfer windows over the last 3 or 4 years, I've said, I'd love us to sign Icardi. I'm fully aware of Icardi's baggage. I'm fully aware of it. But I'm a big fan of Icardi, and people who've been watching the United stand for any length of time will know that. So for me to hear that United may have turned down a swap deal for Lukaku, for Icardi, I'm like, oh my God. I don't care who the manager is and how much I like them. That is just stupid. That is stupid. That's like being starving hungry and you get served cold bread with cold soup and it doesn't even work and that's your dinner, and then someone else says, oh, I'd like to eat that shit. I've just got a really weird fetish to eat cold soup and cold bread. Do you want my lovely, perfectly heated steak and chips with mushrooms, onion rings, beans, everything, and a nice cold beer with it? Do you want to swap it or not? No, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. That looks absolutely brilliant, but I'm absolutely happy with this plate of shit. You know, so no. I cannot. If United have been offered Lukaku for Icardi, I don't care what you think about his attitude. I don't care what you think about his agent. You manage that. You manage that and you deal with that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But it's still better than the plate of soup and cold bread. It is. It absolutely is. So it frustrates me. And again, if there's any truth in the fact that now Napoli want Lukaku, then sell him and actually say to Napoli, we want Koulibaly. What can we do? Let's sort a deal out. We've got to do it. Lukaku, if Lukaku ends up staying now, when there's clearly a lot of interest for him in Italy, it's going to be a shame. Mark, keep doing what you're doing. Class banter, class info, class points of view. United's biggest weakness, right back, centre defensive midfield, centre back, or right winger. Who would you get? United's biggest weakness. I mean, that's a different sort of question, William, and it's a very good question. I think United's biggest weakness, if I was to identify one position, and I've said this before, I don't think it will shock people. I mean, United's biggest weakness is the centre defensive midfield. And we might not buy one. But we do need a top-class centre-back, a right winger. We do need a right back. But the weakness in the team is the CDM. And it has been for a long time. And at the moment, the incumbent of that position is Nemanja Matic, who will be here next year. He won't be sold. He's the biggest weakness in that United team. Or McTominay when they play there. Or Fred when they play there. Or even Herrera when they play there. Because it's not their position. Herrera was never a CDM, really. He was box-to-box. Fred's not really a CDM. McTominay's certainly not a CDM. He's probably more box-to-box as well. And Matic is a CDM. He's just totally not suited to how we want to play football. The weakness of the United team is the CDM because the defence give the ball to the CDM and the CDM feeds the people in front of them. They're basically the engine room. They're the string puller. They're the orchestrator of the team. And in Matic, you've got somebody who plods side to side, is tall, gets bypassed by smaller, quick players, doesn't move the ball quick enough, takes loads of touches, likes to play like a crab side to side. That position, if you change it, the whole team will change. Even if you've still got Jones and Smalling at centre-back, will be a better team with a top-class centre defensive midfielder. And that centre defensive midfielder needs to be somebody who can take the ball, move the ball quickly, moves themselves quickly, and runs the team at a much quicker tempo. That to me is where United are weak. Jonah Jones says Ferguson became manager in 86. United didn't win the title until 92. Invested in a mixture of youth and experience. Ollie will do the same. Top show. Yeah, look, a lot of people, Jonah, used to say, oh, look, Moyes may be crap at the start, but look how long it took Sir Alex. Oh, Mourinho's only been here 3 years. Look how long it took Sir Alex. Oh, Van Gaal, look at... But people remember Sir Alex. What he did is nowhere near what Mourinho... You could tell whether after Moyes, after 5 minutes, we were screwed. He didn't need to have 6 years to do it. And the same with Van Gaal and the same with Mourinho. But with Sir Alex Ferguson, you could see what he was trying to do. There were frustrations from the fans. They could see what he was trying to do. And after a few years, they were like, he's just not... We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to rebuild the club. He's developing youth. He's buying players to build into the team. But it's just not working. He's not going to get it to work. You can have a great idea and it doesn't work. You can be doing the right things. It just doesn't work. That was sort of what the negative fans were feeling towards Sir Alex Ferguson when he nearly, they wanted him to be sacked before he was successful. But the club stood by him and he was ultimately successful. But everybody could see what he was trying to do and it was the right thing he was trying to do. He was trying to get United back to what they'd always been. Hopefully Ollie can do that. I really hope so. So we talked about Napoli. We've talked about Ligt. We've spoken about Bruno Fernandes. We've talked about Pepe. We've spoken about Carrasco. Just a little bit more on Ligt, actually. I forgot to say this at the start. There's somebody called Raphael Hanigstein, he's got nearly 500,000 followers on Twitter, actually, and he's got a blue tick. Wrote for the ESPN, meant to be quite reliable. He spoke about Ligt today, and he basically said that Bayern Munich are out of the race for Ligt. Now, I don't know who's in the race for Ligt, but he said Bayern Munich are out of the race for Ligt. They did show interest, but they've already bought the Atletico Madrid player. I think they've bought somebody else, and they want to try and get a winger, which is obviously Sane, so they've got to use their money elsewhere. So that's why they've withdrawn from the Ligt race. I don't know who's in the Ligt race. We are led to believe it's us or Barcelona, but Juventus could be in that race. Bayern Munich may well have been in the race, but they're not anymore. PSG could be in the race. Somebody was saying it's just PSG and Barcelona the other day. I think a Barcelona outlet called Sport was saying it's just Barcelona and PSG. Some people seem to think Liverpool and Man City could be in it. So who is in the race? I don't know. But the thing is, a few people might join the race tonight if he has a good game. So, yeah, good game. Welcome to Jamie Stewart, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, mate. Remember, you can join the United Stand Members Club by just clicking the join button if it's there. And you get your little badge next to your name, like Matt Hardy, delete, says Lincoln Jacondon me. I know it sounds bad, but I'd take Sterling, Sane, or even Aguero in a heartbeat, says D_G1. It depends whether you can move past the fact that they play for Man City, don't you? Raul Ibarra says, can we expect a rant if Liverpool sign Ligt, Pepe and Bruno Fernandes? No, I don't think so, mate. I think a lot of United fans, I think it's a great question, by the way, and I don't know whether you're a Liverpool fan yourself, but if Liverpool signed Ligt, Pepe and Bruno Fernandes, would you as a United fan be furious and start ranting? I think some people would. I'd like to think that I wouldn't. I'd like to think that I would say that, look, what do you expect? Those players can go to a club that's on the up, that are champions of Europe. Their fans are absolutely loving it. It's a great club to go to at the moment. And I hate saying that about Liverpool. I don't even believe the words when I say it, even though I know they're factual. So where we are is, as I said before, they're swimming with the stars. And we're swimming in the sewers. That's where we are at the moment. That's where Manchester United are. And if we can pull off some of these big deals while we're swimming in the sewers, then great. But if those players decide to go and swim with the stars, you can't blame them. There's nothing, you can't blame the players, and you can't really blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You can't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's the manager of the last 6 months. It's not his fault we're in the Emmerdale Cup. It's not his fault that those players have chosen better options. The fault lies with Manchester United over the last 6 years and how we've come to this position, because Manchester United, like I say, should always be in the Champions League and we should always be challenging for titles. So my frustration would be with where we are, but we know where we are in a way. Is it worth getting frustrated about? We know where we are. What we're waiting to see is, are we going to respond to where we are? Are we in for another 6 years like the last 6 years? I'm hoping that that's a line in the sand now. We're going to climb out the sewers, have a lovely shower, use a bit of Radox so we don't smell as much, put a bit of Lynx Africa on, nice shirt, nice trousers. Let's build a spaceship so we can get back into the stars. Don't go in the spaceship in your nice shirt and trousers. You're going to need proper oxygen supplies and a proper astronaut suit, but you can wear your nice shirt and trousers while you're building your spaceship. But yeah, out the sewer, shower, Lynx Africa, get some nice clothes, build a nice spaceship, put your astronaut suit on, and let's fly back into the stars with everybody else. That's what I want to see United do, and that's what I believe we can do. And Dawar Mushtaq says, realistically for me, a good summer, James, Bruno Fernandes, Meunier, Partey, one good centre-back replacement for Pogba, Lukaku, De Gea if they want to leave. I don't think Pogba's going to go, Dawa. I don't think Pogba's going to go. And welcome to Raul Ibarra, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And anybody who's saying Bruno Fernandes isn't going to sign for you, you banter club, De Ligt's not going to sign for you, you finished 6th. I mean, you know what? There's a certain Prat in a hat who is still talking about United finishing 6th. Even United fans don't give a shit that we finished 6th because that was last season. You're living in the past, mate. And you finished 5th. And you got embarrassed in a Europa League final by a team that finished 3rd in front of the whole world. But we're not talking about it because that was last season. We're looking forward with about £200 million in our pocket, whereas you're still looking back with about £2.70 in your pocket. And I'm talking about Arsenal's transfer fee budget there. So we're looking forward. And that's what we need to do. Last season, we all know it was crap. We all know. It's like your pants when they've been in the washing machine, isn't it? They're nice and clean and fresh, and they're your favourite pair of pants. Last week, you shit yourself in them, and they were full of shit. But they're not anymore, because you've washed them, and they're nice and clean, and you can wear them. And that's what I feel about last season. We know we crapped ourselves. We know we absolutely crapped ourselves, and everybody saw it, and we stunk, and it was embarrassing. But we've got rid of it. We've washed our pants. We've got new pants on now. And people keep talking about that, but we've got new pants on. And we're starting again, and we're going to try. And we've got a hope. Hope is all we have. Hope is all we have, because the last 6 years show a different path. They show a consistent bad path where we do keep crapping ourselves. But we've been to the doctors. He's going to give us some pills that make us stop crapping ourselves. I'm going to keep clean pants on, and we're going to go for it again. You got to believe that. I don't want to look back. I want to look forward. We've got to look forward. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Anyway, I could talk and talk for ages. Please do smash a like on the video. I think it's been a very good show. Remember that it is England versus Holland tonight. It's kicking off in 15 minutes time. The link is in the video description. You can go to the watch along, which I'm going to be running on That's Football. England versus Holland. Delete watch, or you can just type That's Football into the search bar. I'm going to be live on there in literally 5 minutes time. I'm just going to end this stream, set up a different background, and we're good to go. So I will see you on That's Football in about 5 minutes time. The link's in the video description. Go and talk amongst yourselves. Thanks everyone today for watching. Great show as per usual. Lots of different topics. Smash a like on there. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Back again tomorrow with the Transfer Daily in the morning. So yeah, lots and lots to discuss as per usual. Really enjoyed the show. I'll see you on That's Football. Delete watch. We've got to watch it together. I want to see those live comments. I want to see minute by minute what you're thinking about Delete. And also we might get to watch bloody Lingard. Great. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute. Thanks for watching.